Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Miggs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapachet, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you as always for joining us, and of course, with your patience. I had some family over for the weekend and couldn't record until just now, but we are here now. We're recording, so as always, we appreciate you guys' patience. And I had to wait till they left town. Basically, it's like, all right, cool. Now I can dedicate some time to this here. Sometimes it gets pushed back a little bit, so my apologies. But again, regardless, we appreciate you guys being patient with us, and of course, tuning in because we're not going to leave you guys hanging on this fantastic. I should say fantastic. I don't know how the weather is over there where you're at, Andrew, but we got some harsh weather over here. We got some wind and so forth. So hopefully my internet doesn't kick me out or drop for whatever reason. But regardless, we are going to get a show crack-a-lackin' for you guys because we got plenty to talk about. Everything from the debacle this weekend with everybody, coming out of the woodwork talking about this Jake Paul and Chavez Jr. fight, the results, the aftermath, the fallout. Everybody from Virgil Ortiz to Teddy Atlas. So basically, everybody's talking. Everybody and their mama has an opinion on this, and that includes these two jokers, which we will talk about here momentarily because apparently somebody left a very lovely comment on our video last week, which we would definitely like to address, refer to us as a couple of jokers, and we want to make sure to address it because that's how we roll. That's how we roll around here. On top of the continuing saga of one Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya, they were bickering back and forth online because that's what they do. That's that's the way to do it now, right? With social media, it's not something we used to do before, obviously, because that wasn't a thing. But we're gonna get into that in addition to a fight that was recently announced regarding a welterweight championship that we will get into momentarily, amongst other things, of course, because we got a couple of other topics to talk about. But before we get into all of that, let me check in with the other joker of the show, Mr. Andrew Lapachet. Andrew, what's going on, dude? How are you doing today?
Hey, what's up, bro? I'm doing good. Oh, I forgot the camera turns on me. I kind of like not having the camera on me. Shit. Not doing good, man. Don't know what the backlash is on the Jake Paul fight. We'll get into that, but I thought it was fine. I mean, Chavez did the best he could. 18, what was it? 18 days out of rehab. They're saying it, not me. They were the ones pushing it. So just a little over 2 weeks.
Jeez.
We'll get into it, but I don't know, Jake. You didn't make me a believer.
No, he sure as hell didn't make a lot of people believer, and definitely not Virgil Ortiz. But we will definitely talk about that.
He needs to chill. Virgil needs to chill with the ruining boxing BS. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you coined it before. It's celebrity boxing is all it is. It's the celebrity boxing aspect of it that we'll talk about. But besides that, how was your weekend, dude? Did you do anything amazing this weekend?
No, it's been very hot. Oh, we went fishing.
Oh, all right.
Fishing. So Friday night, me and Junior were gonna relax. His bout on Saturday got canceled, so I was gonna take him fishing anyways. Have no training, just go to the river, relax, wake up, go to San Jose. It got canceled. I was like, fuck that. I want to go fishing anyways. So we went anyways. It was supposed to be just me and him and probably Giovanni, but everyone ended up going. And nice time. Junior caught 2 catfish. The first time catching. He's caught in trout over at a lake when we went camping, but this is the first time he snagged something out of the river. So the first one I had there's some toolies right there by the river bank, so I had to pull it up. On the second one, I was getting hit too. It was like the sun was dropping, bro, so everything was active. I was getting bites, and I was like, Junior, you gotta bring it up by yourself, and he was able to get it in. Because that would have sucked, bro, to get, if that fish gets inside of those, he's gonna get snagged up, and there will be no catch. There will be no smile.
No picture with the fish, the way
right.
the common thing. Do you guys? So how does this work? Do you guys like catch them and then throw them back in, or do you actually like take them home to eat them? How does that work?
Yes, for many years, me and my brother started this tradition. We do the Olympic dive with the fish. So whatever fish we catch, We throw them as high as we can in the air and let them do their little dive. Hey, it's gonna be the greatest feeling ever, though. My wife was like, "You're so mean." I'm like, "What are you talking about? The fish is about to go home, right? Wouldn't you be happy? If the cop grabbed me and then tossed me out before instead of arresting me, I think I'm pretty happy. I'm not fucking mad, and he gets to fly a little." So showed the kids that I passed that tradition on of the Olympic dive team with the fish.
That's a great tradition. I kind of myself have been there. I once went to an illegal like street racing like here in Vegas, right? And a cop pulled up, and he's like, "I'm gonna give you guys 10 seconds to fucking start running." We're like, "Oh shit, what the fuck?" And we start bolting. It's like, okay, it's kind of like he caught up,
Yeah,
gave us a little bit of a little tosses in the air, like, all right, now it's hunting time. So I can feel what that fish was feeling for the seconds that it was in the air. It's like, oh damn, I've never seen the world from up here before, and then pow, back into its home. So totally understandable here. Yeah, exactly. Like bam, it's like cannonball, but not a cannonball, more like a flop, belly flop, sideways flop for them.
Yeah. So we did good. So I ended up doing that 3 days in a row because I'm an early bird.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh
so
yeah.
So I'm like, why just sit home? I'm out because I bought my license. It's a year good, so I'm like, I'm out.
Oh, you need a license to fish?
Oh yeah.
Oh damn! No, really? Wow. Yeah.
California, bro. Yeah. No, I don't know. You probably need do you need a license in Vegas? I don't even know.
Your guess is as good as mine, dude. Because I've never fished.
Silly. You probably do then.
Most likely. I mean, it makes sense. If it's in California, it would be here too. But yeah, I have to assume so. I've never done it, but maybe.
What gets ridiculous, bro, is they start saying, "Do you want 2 pole tags? Do you want a certain fish tag?" It's like, come on, man! I can't just buy a license. Now you gotta add special little things to it. So I don't even know what my regular license, what I'm able to bring in legally, or you know what I'm saying. But yeah, they kind of hit that on you when you're at the register. You're like, I don't know. I'm just gonna throw a fucking pole in the water and catch something. How am I supposed to know what I'm gonna catch? You know what I mean? I basically use night crawlers, man. That's universal bait. Now you don't know what the hell's coming out of the water when you catch something with the worm.
It's like, just give me the basic of the basic license, okay? I just want to catch something.
Or you can catch bluegill. You can catch probably all the crap fish.
All the crabby ones that end up like the bottom dwellers, right? It's like you can catch those guys, but you got to toss them back in. Oh goodness. Well, I've never fished, but I would like to at one point, just for the sake of doing it, because I've never actually done it. But talking about fishes, let's go ahead and get started on the many topics we got here. We got a few topics we want to get on. Those is all it knows is engagement. So we were a little unsure. Look, we're not professionals, right? This is what we like to do. This is a hobby. This is like we enjoy doing it, and we do what we can to get our facts straight as we can. But we had a couple of comments from one particular follower. I don't know.
What's his name? What's his name?
His name is Hostile Entertainment.
Oh, that's what he put as his name?
Oh, I don't know. That's the name of the channel.
Oh,
I don't. But that's the name. So unless I'm reading it wrong, but yeah. So that's, or maybe it's a her. For this is a gender neutral show, so maybe it's a his, maybe it's a her. We don't know, right? But let me go ahead and would you like for me to read these comments, Andrew?
Of course. Of course. He had questions, and I think we should answer his questions. And why not do that on the air? So we can talk about it. We could talk about it.
This is in regards to last week's show and a couple of topics that we covered. First and foremost, it's primarily, of course, Crawford and Canelo that we're going to get in September, which we have some news as well. But he goes as far as to say, during the show, we did ask, we clearly we missed it on the press conferences, but apparently Canelo thinks that Turki Al-Sheikh is on Crawford's side. Right. And we're like, well, why does he think he's on his side? Right. Well, this guy came in to like enlighten us with the answer. Right. He says Canelo thinks Turki is in Crawford's corner because Turki said it in the first presser. He says, I don't know why they put me here. I wanted to be on the side of Crawford. So if you go back and watch it, Sure enough, he says that. He seems to be sitting on the side that Canelo is sitting on, and he's like, I don't know why they put me here. He wanted to be on their side. All right. So there goes our answer, right? We wanted to see it right off the bat. It says after seating him, on Canelo's side. Like, who are you two jokers? That's the second question that we want to answer. If you want to listen, if you want to rewind the video, we're at the very beginning. Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Me Fiend Miggs. That's Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapiche. Those are the two jokers you're listening to. The second topic, or the second comment. You wish that Crawford would have fought someone besides Madrimov before this fight? Yeah, yeah. Testing out 168. Why not? Or as Andrew suggested, going at least 160 and fighting Laura, picking up another belt, right? Why not? So he goes, that comment makes not one bit of sense in any way, shape, or form. Like, what difference does the size of the profile of the fighter who Crawford fought last have to do with anything? What you failed to elaborate on top of that is that Madrimov was a WBA champion, being tipped to be the next big fighter to conquer the world, not just 155-pound division.
What?
Yeah. So it says, I'm like 10 minutes into this video, and already you guys are talking complete cap. Ooh. Oh, whoa. Complete cap.
That hurt.
That's a cool term. This guy must be young.
Yeah, that hurt.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Right. At the cap. So yeah. Let's not forget that
I told Christina, is it possible this young man is younger and more successful than me? Shit. This is gonna hurt trying to respond to this.
Hey, you know what they say? Somebody who's doing better than you rarely criticizes you, right? It's usually the guy on the bottom that's pulling you down like the crabs in the bucket. But yeah, so let's Madrimov literally just won the championship a fight or two prior, I think literally the fight before, and he only had 10 fights. So yeah, I'm all right. Sure.
I gotta tell you.
Please tell me.
I was listening to it until he went on with the tipped to be the next biggest fighter to conquer the world, not just 154. When I read that line, Miguel, I was like, this young man works for Madrimov. We have someone on the team. Come on, conquer the world? Who right? Hey, bro, nobody's saying that. Never heard that once. Never heard the next pound for pound champ is going to be Madrimov after he loses to Crawford. Nah, bro, you're either family or you're working for the dude. I'm sorry we hurt your feelings. Yes, I would have loved to have seen Crawford go to 160 and fight someone. Not only is Madrimov nowhere near 168, it turned out to be a tough fight for Crawford. I think me and Miguel talked about that on this show, that it was a tough fight. Was it because it was his first time fighting there, or does he have an issue gaining weight? So why not prove that wrong by going to 160 and just if he was taking this serious, bro. If he was taking this move up to 168 serious and had plans on staying there and reigning champ and doing all that, I don't know why you don't go 160. So no knock on Madrimov. He's a good fighter. He only had 10 fights. Very young champion, and he gave Terrence Crawford what they say. I don't say it, to be honest with you. I think I came on the next day and thought Terrence Crawford easily won the fight. He didn't get a knockout. He didn't look as dominant as he did before. You can say all that, but he won the fight. And now he's supposed to gain 14 pounds, and I'm supposed to sell it as it's a real thing. It's very hard to sell this fight as a real thing, especially when he didn't catch Canelo. He didn't even bring him in at a catch weight. He's allowing Canelo to come in full steam. It's we'll see what happens. But no, I absolutely do believe you work with him. So if you could get us on some kind of media list, my young man Miguel right there, we'd appreciate it. You know what I mean? Never said Madrimov was a bad fighter. I do not think he's here to conquer the world there, though. You might want to get him active again if that's what his plans are. And yeah. No, we're going to see what happens to Terrence at 168, but definitely would have loved a shot at 160, just to show he could put on muscle. We're not even going to get to see that. You know what I mean? We're just getting what shows up at the scale on that day. And I know it's Terrence Crawford. He takes his career serious and all that, he should look like he's fit. But what if what if he doesn't look fit because it's just too much weight and it really had nothing to do with him? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I would have loved seeing 160. No knock on your fighter, bro. Thank you for your feedback, though. We will work on that. Oh, I forget what I have to work on, but I will find something to work on.
Right. Yes, let's not forget that Madrimov was 10-0, or at the time he had just won the WBA belt, so this was his first title defense, and he didn't even do that because he lost at Terrence. But hey, you know what? His next fight, he ends up losing to Virgil, so he's on a 2-fight losing streak. So I don't know if he's still tipped as being the guy who's going to take over at 154 or the world for that matter at this point. But regardless, I do agree with you, Andrew. The fight with Madrimov, although you mentioned it wasn't really his toughest fight per se, as if like the guy who's giving him the best fight, but it seemed as though it was like the guy who gave him a little bit of trouble in regards to like his movement. It's almost like he was falling for, and I would say falling for the feints, but it was much harder to read, I think. And we just didn't see the Crawford that we've seen before at 147. And I think the comparison is why people are like, oh, this is why, in particular, Max Kellerman, when he said like, dude, your toughest fight, to date. And he's like, Crawford, like, you think that was tough, fool? Like, well, yeah, dude, you certainly didn't look like the previous you. So if he moves up to 154 and we want to say, oh, yeah, he doesn't look like he did at 147, maybe it wasn't the opponent, maybe it was the weight, or maybe it wasn't the weight, and maybe it was the opponent, who knows, but we're going to see it again. And we're going to see 2 weight classes at this point. So completely skip 160, go with 168. Hell, even if he skips 160, at least one tune-up fight at 168, where there were rumors even that he was going to fight what's his name? Sergey. I can always pronounce his last name. The guy who fought Triple G, Derevyanchenko.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like there was even rumors he was going to fight him at 168. Okay, cool. Not the biggest 168 pounder out there, but at least he can test how he feels at that weight class, and maybe we can gauge it a little better. Maybe he would look like he did against Madrimov, but hey, it's a tune-up fight, so maybe he'll look better in the one that follows. But now we'll never know. So if we're going to say that he didn't look the way he did at 147 against Madrimov, we can blame it on the weight. We can blame it on the opponent. But according to this comment here, let's blame it on the opponent. Let's say Madrimov was the guy who was tipped to be the guy at 154, which we have yet to hear from after losing to Virgil Ortiz back in February. But anyway, thank you for your comment once more, because, hey,
I even forgot about that. I forgot about that fight. Yeah, he's already lost. Man, bro, where are you coming from?
2 in a row. Yeah. And
where are you coming from, dude?
two unanimous decisions in a row. And, we haven't heard from him since February. But if you are in his corner, if you are his manager, if you are his promoter, by all means, get him back in the ring. And then, make sure to have him in Vegas so I can go to it. But nonetheless, we just wanted to throw that out there because, we have a lot of things to talk about, and we wanted to get that one out first and foremost. Once more, thank you for your comment. And let's go ahead and talk about Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Because there's a lot of people, everybody has a strong opinion about it, right? Everyone at the same time, they'll say, what a circus act. Damn it, what a piece of crap. And then at the same time, they're like, well, I'll fight him next if the payday is there. Oh, great. So you will fight him next, huh? I suppose. So everybody and their moms, of course, wants to fight him. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, we'll talk about the card a little bit afterwards, because we want to talk about, of course, the main event, because the card wasn't half bad. At least a couple of fights there that we saw that were pretty decent that we definitely want to talk about. But before anything, well, Andrew, we saw what we pretty much thought we were going to see, right? It wasn't like it was a shocker or a surprise, the performance or lack thereof by one Chavez Jr. A little under 3 weeks out of rehab. Again, you've talked about it. There's only so many times that Jake Paul can do this, and this is probably the last time that any true boxer, boxing fan or boxer, I should say, will say, yeah, you did it with Tyson. Yeah, you did it with Chavez. We're not going to let you get away with that shit anymore. But he had the little the check right on the carrot on the stick, so to speak, as soon as Chavez got out of rehab. And well, we saw a little bit of vintage Chavez, right? The last 3 rounds or 2 rounds or whatever it was, where he finally started letting his hands go and made things a little bit more difficult, if you want to call it that. I don't know. It seemed as though Chavez was just a little concerned that he wasn't going to be able to have the gas in the tank to go the full 10 rounds. So he kind of
It
conserved it. It
wasn't.
seemed then. Yeah, it seemed like he was just waiting to conserve himself and then saying like, all right, let me make sure I don't run out of gas. And then he put it on him or tried to at least in the remaining rounds, the last I think 2 or 3 rounds of the fight. But it was same old with Chavez, and quite frankly, same old with Jake. There wasn't anything new necessarily we saw out of him. And he's sort of like, oh shit, oh damn, he added this to his element, or he added this to his repertoire, or something along those lines to make us say, oh, you know what? I think Jake might have something. Andrew, what was your opinion first and foremost of the fight, and I guess of each fighter's performance?
First off, shout out to Chavez Senior, Chavez, for getting this fight done, and it sold out. It broke a record. Now look, I'm hearing, we all seen the rumors that the tickets were dropped 70% or something.
Mhm.
I don't think they would have the balls to go on that thing and say, out of 60 professional combat sports, this is number one. You would think that would leave a opportunity for everyone to call MVP Promotions basically a liar, right? If they were actually lying about. Now, I don't know what he had those tickets priced at before he dropped them 70%, but something happened where he was still able to break a record.
Yeah, a live gate, I think it was that they
The
broke
live gate, yes,
for that arena.
When you hear the response for Chavez on the big screen, you could tell why it got sold out. They showed up, bro. Excuse me. I felt I felt bad for Chavez Jr., man. He totally, when they're in his room and they first put him up, Chavez is here, and that crowd erupts, you totally see Chavez Jr. look at the screen like, oh fuck, they're here. Someone came. They still care.
Yeah.
How many times can I do this to you guys? Right?
Mm.
His dad's like, I fucking hate this kid. His dad's like, gave him everything, man. He gave him everything on a gold platter, not even a silver, platinum platter. So Chavez did look a little nervous though when that crowd erupted. They were there. He had no game plan. Look, you guys, look, this was old man game plan. This was crack rehab game plan, right? I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna let him throw his blows. If he gets tired, I'm gonna knock his ass out late. And that's exactly what he tried to do. So it's a great second half of the fight. Seriously, if you're a Chavez fan, you can't be met. 39 years old, 18 days out of rehab. He's throwing blows like that in the last 9 minutes. I'll say 6, to be fair to Jake. I'll say 6. I didn't give him the 7th. Someone gave him 3 rounds. I didn't give him 3 rounds. I gave him the last 2. But damn, were they a good last 2. Damn, was that reminiscent of Sergio Martinez all over again. Like, he just needed that one punch. And it just doesn't land, but he's there, bro. He's like, and it was the left hook. I'm sorry, Jake Paul. When the shit hit the fan, Jake Paul's game plan went out the window. His defense went out the window. I give it to the young man. He could take a punch. I'll give him that. He proved past Saturday, that he could take a hell of a punch. Because we all know Chavez got good hands, power in his hands. And he was hitting them clean shots. No defense. Left hooks and right hands. One left hook actually hurt Paul. Paul did get wobbled in the final 2 rounds of that fight. I think that's the clip that they're trying to say that Chavez leaned in and said something to him. I got to admit, I kind of seen it live too. It did look like Chavez might have apologized. Oh shit, sorry, bro. Hey, you good? You good? Stay up, bro. Stay up.
Like hey, tone it down. Tone it down.
Yeah, that might have happened. Okay, but at least he showed him who was boss. Then he put him, babied him again. But it's a great last 6 minutes, man. It was the old Chavez coming forward, throwing punches. The kid's always been a dipshit. Come on, let's not act like Chavez is some all-time legend. He's not. He's an all-time dipshit. He's an all-time spoiled little brat. You know what I mean? And that's what we seen again Saturday. His dad got all the passion in his world. Did you see what his son is doing? He's laughing. He is laughing as his dad is yelling at the commissioner, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" He's trying to tell Chavez something. They're messing with Chavez Senior.
Mm.
All the passion in the world. There's his son laughing on the stool. Not a care in the world. That's what he's always been. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So no, I was happy. Remember Miguel? I was like, I just didn't want him to embarrass his dad one more time. And I don't think he did. I think he saved it in the final 2 minutes. 2 rounds. I think he gave a good enough effort where everyone. And look, if you don't know that that's what Chavez was trying to do, then you probably haven't watched a lot of 39-year-old over the hill out of rehab guys fight. But most of the time, when a fighter is this far over his prime, he's fighting for 6 minutes. His dad used to do it at the very end, and now his dad was probably 45 or some shit when he was still fighting and doing this. But we seen Chavez do it when he was older. Sometimes he's just quitting his stool. He's like, I'm done. We're like, hey, you got to go back out. Nah, I'm done. This is what I expected. But at least he didn't embarrass him. Now, for Jake Paul, see, I don't know why everyone's. Do you have anything to say before? Do you have anything to respond with on that?
Just that when Chavez kind of started really putting it on him and trying to like get something out of him, out of himself. I don't know if his corner was like, hey, remember like Jake Paul flipping off your family at the fucking weigh-in? Yeah, go get pissed off, dude. Like
Right.
That's what irks me the most is that these guys don't at least, I don't know, if you're so. That would piss me the fuck off. If I knew I couldn't go 10 rounds and I would like I can barely my cardio was crap and I knew I was gonna be able to handle, I would at least be like so pissed off that I would bite this fool. I would like shoulder him out, like, dude, who the hell you think you are trying to flip off my family, right? Yada yada. And obviously he's trying to entice people and try to get everybody in their heads, or trying to basically play mind games with everybody and going that far disrespectful and flipping off the family. I suspect those were the last 6 minutes, like you said, right, where Chavez like, all right, cool. Now let me go ahead and put it on him. Try to at least. That's where the fire came in at the very ending. I hope that's what it was, and is like, okay, let me remember what he did to my family. So let me go ahead and try to swing on this fool now. The last couple of rounds, but anyway, that was pretty much it. That wasn't. I saw the passion of Chavez Senior. He got on the ring. I don't think he's part of the corner. Right, so he gets on the ring and they're trying to like put him back here, and he's like, "Fuck, don't be telling me what the fuck to do. I'm trying to see him, motherfucker." Doing one of those things, and then finally he gets back down. But it's like, if only your kid had that much passion that you freaking had, man. But anyway, regarding Jake Paul, go ahead, you go first because I do have some stuff about Jake Paul too.
When he was just fighting a walking heavy bag, he didn't look great, but he looked decent. Right, he's throwing combos. He's got Chavez on the ropes. He looks like he's controlling. It was good. Round 7, 8, or 8, 9, and 10 come, and all of a sudden, the kid's got no defense. He's taking flush shots. There was some that he was able to slip. For the most part, Chavez hit him numerous times right on the chin. We're talking about a guy who hasn't been taking training seriously for a while, right? So
and Chavez hasn't really been a knockout puncher at those weight classes. Middleweight is where he was at this point. At this, with a big dude like Jake, I figured Jake would be able to take a shot.
Very true on that one too. But now he's entering a situation where it's not circus act anymore, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. We are now talking about Jake Paul's in line to get a shot at the world champion.
Yeah. According to the WBA, he's now ranked at like number 15 or something. So
the WBA to Oscar De La Hoya to MVP Promotions, who put these guys up face to face, right? I mean, come on. They did a face-off, bro. No one else did that. That was his company that asked Zuro to get up and do that. Mm-hmm. And it's a good fight. If he really wanted to be a world champ, you've worked your way up a ranking. You said Zuro's slow as fuck. Don't get it twisted. Zuro's going to beat the shit out of this boy. I don't want to say my mortgage. I'll never put my mortgage up. But
I'm putting the kids' college funds on the line.
It's going to be a lot, right? All of my fun money will definitely be going on one bet. There's no way. There's no way. School will be in session, dude.
No way, like kind of under the table kind of
No,
way.
no
No,
way.
not
As
even
in
that.
Zudo just beats his ass,
No,
bro.
no, I know, but I'm saying there's no way, like, uh, Jake Paul gets in De La Hoya's ear and says, "Hey, here's X amount of money. Don't throw shots." And then he goes like, "Look, Zurdo, you've never made this money in your entire fucking life. So yeah, go ahead and take a dive." Like, is that too far fetched?
I'm gonna say yes, bro, because Zudo still has a career. He's a champion. He made the most money on that card from what they're saying. He was the highest paid guy. Now I know Jake Paul probably gets a percentage of the big piece when it's all said and done, and that's why he's coming in so cheap. But let's say the second highest paid guy was Udo Ramirez with over $1 million on that card. You want to lose out on your $1 million paydays for one $5 million payday? Probably not, you know? So I no, and listen, man, I'm sorry, all you haters, you Jake Paul haters out there. Unfortunately, I thought Chavez landed enough power shots to say that this was not a fix. When you seen how aggressive Chavez became in the final 6 minutes, it was like, this is what he was waiting for. How the fuck did the 39-year-old win the last 2 rounds against a guy 26, dead in his prime, supposed to be in the best shape of his life? How the hell does the old man start beating the shit out of you in the last 2 rounds? It's a bad look. It's a bad 18 days out of being in the facility getting treatment. Not training, not in a facility training for anything. Getting treatment. He came out, did a little 2-week fucking weight cut, and whooped your ass in the final 2 rounds of that fight. Had all of his fans cheering. I was cheering. Oh, you should have heard. Oh, I was begging for the left hook. Miguel was sitting right there. It was sitting right. He was going straight back, hands down. Chavez went up. Senior went up to the ring immediately. Told him left hook. It was sitting right there. If he could have just thrown more. So it was to me, no. Now look, if it would have been 10 rounds of Chavez walking around as a walking punching bag, yes, I go with all your guys's. But I don't think they can fix a fight. Jake Paul's good enough to fix a fight taking the punches that he was taking. They look serious to me. They look decent shots. The Mike Tyson thing was always a debacle. You guys are absolutely fucking insane to think a 57-year-old man was ever going to, who 20-something years ago said he was done fucking training, was ever going to be in that fight for reals. That is insane if you actually think Mike Tyson would have beat Jake Paul at 57. It's just not too many guys that can beat up a 26-year-old who works out and does things like that. And Mike even had a hurt knee. Mike might not even have been 100%. So he's 57 and he has a hurt knee going into that fight. He's not winning that fight. You don't have to fix that fight. He's not winning it.
This one either, for that matter. I mean, this is the thing. This is how Jake picks the fights. If you want to say they're fixed as far as opponents go, like, I want to choose that guy, but he legitimately beats that guy. Now, he probably shouldn't be in the ring with that dude, but regardless, he beats Tyson fair and square, right? He beats Chavez Jr. fair and square. It's the fact that he's choosing those specific opponents. Really, there's no need to pay these guys off. They weren't going to beat him anyway.
No. And dude, what happened to the Tommy Fury fight? You guys that were like, oh, he fought one known guy. No, he didn't. Tommy Fury is not more known than Anderson Silva or Chavez Jr. or who are some of the other guys he fought?
Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz, Worley.
Woodley. Yeah.
He's not more known than these guys. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is Ty? How did that benefit Jake Paul losing to Tommy? Come on, that's ridiculous. That kind of proved that it wasn't a fix, that the kid was actually trying to do something. He just stepped in with a younger professional, a guy who's trained professional boxing. He doesn't train MMA. Like, Tommy actually trains, and his brother, I hear, is pretty fucking good, so he's actually in an environment where they're training champions, not just, some guys fucking around in a gym. So, no. And that's why he never rematched him, and he doesn't want to rematch him. But you can't skip that fight and go, oh, yeah, he fixes all of his fights. That's bullshit. He already lost, and he lost to a nobody. So I think it's real. It's a fake ass run. It's what our boy Lee always said, rest in
Mm.
peace. It's what he always said. Anyone can do it. You just have to have the money and yeah, and know how to match make. And that's exactly what Jake Paul did. And he mastered it. And he's making a lot of money getting up there. And he's made it. But now that he's made it, now they need to, Zuro needs to come calling. De La Hoya needs to come calling. They really need to put the pressure on the guy. You wanted to be champ. You're ranked 14th. We're willing to do this now. And from what I've seen skill wise on Jake Paul, he's not a professional boxer. It's all a gimmick. It's all a show right now. He's picked the right opponents to get him where he's at. But we've even seen it with pro fighters. See, we've seen guys that are 40-0 come over from Brazil or some shit like that. These 40-0-38 knockout records, and then lose every single fight in America, or lose, 4 out of 6 fights in America. It's like, how are you undefeated and knocking out everyone over there? It's just, that's the sad part of boxing. I don't know if you even call it sad, but that's the reality in boxing. Is not all these records that are undefeated mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul's about to find that out if he steps in the ring with Zuro. Look, Zuro is slow. I know Jake Paul said that, but he throws a lot of punches and he comes from different angles, and he's got movement angle wise that big guys usually don't have. And I don't see Jake being able to keep up with that. Jake don't know what the fuck a pivot is. He doesn't know what a
And he's a
step back
southpaw,
is.
right? It's like that's I don't.
He can
Yes,
go back and forth. Yeah.
yeah. I want to say Nate Diaz fights southpaw sometimes as well, stuff like that. But it's like he's not going to be able to know how to cut angles the way Soto will be able to cut angles. Like
Yeah.
his movement, his most recent fight, not the most recent fight against Uniel on the undercard of that, but the one before that one, it's like, damn, there's
He
no
will.
way. Huh?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Jake has never seen that kind of movement before. No fucking way in hell. And I know that Suda was on the other card, right? He was the co-main event, and there's a big money. Well, I'll say maybe big money, more of a high-profile fight with Opataya down the line. Because I mean, shit, between Opataya and Jake Paul, of course they're gonna fucking big Jake Paul right off the bat, right? Fuck unifying the belts with that dude. He's like, let me go ahead and get my money over here first, which he most likely do. But yeah, Jake Paul has never seen the kind of movement that the kind of southpaw movement that Soto can put on him. So yeah, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
He will end the fight with the body shot. I don't even think it's going to be a headshot. The type of body punishment that Zuro puts on his opponents, where Jake Paul's never felt, he's never been hit with the. He can be sparring all he wants for the last few years. He's not been hit by a world champion who knows how to place his punches.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. It's
Two weight class
over.
World champion.
Yeah, it's over. And I know Zuro's power is lacking, but this is him fighting a regular. You know what I'm saying? This is what do they call him? A civilian? This is him fighting a civilian, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he can take a punch upstairs. I think it's going to be the downstairs hit, because what a master class that he put on the co-main event. And another reason why I think Zuro takes the fight serious is De La Hoya will not give Canelo an easy payday. I do not see De La Hoya being like, yeah, we'll take a loss, and then you can fight Canelo in September. It'd be the hugest Mexican fight, because they're going to have Chavez, Zuro, then Canelo. He can actually pull that off, because I do think Canelo's at the stage in his career. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a. Show me the money. I'll fucking fight you, right?
Yeah, I'll go to Saudi Arabia. I don't give a shit.
That's what he basically said about Terrence Crawford. They're like, have you ever thought about him? He's like, I don't think about this guy. They just paid me more money and I came. That flat out said the truth, man. And I think that was a straight shot to the Jake Paul situation. You show him enough money, he'll kick your ass. He'll watch what you wish for. That's what he told him.
Yeah, and we know the constant beef between De La Hoya and Canelo. De La Hoya was trying to make Zurdo like undefeated right until he came up across Bivol, but he was trying to make him the superstar. He was trying to get him to be there first at light heavyweight, hoping that maybe Canelo will eventually come back to the light heavyweight. But if not, at the very least, he has himself a cruiserweight champion in Zurdo, and that would, if people haven't already, I guess the general public haven't already heard of Ramirez. If he beats Jake Paul and whoops his ass, overnight is going to be a fucking superstar. So that'll be 100% where Chavez would want to have it. Sorry, Chavez, not Chavez. De La Hoya would want to have Zurdo up in there with Jake Paul. So I'm expecting that fight to be next. I'll be honest. I was hesitant. I didn't think that Jake Paul would actually do it. I didn't think, and now I'm not talking about get to this point. I'm saying actually pull the trigger. And mind you, we are maybe jumping the gun because as of right now, all they did was a face off, right? So there's no 100% contract signed that Soto's going to fight Jake Paul. That's not even a thing at all. Right now, it's just that's the way it's looking like. So if De La Hoya is still on this, let me go ahead and find myself a superstar bigger than Canelo because it's the ex-girlfriend syndrome. He's gonna do whatever the hell he can to make Zurdo the superstar, and what better way than to beat Jake Paul, who everybody fucking knows. I can imagine Jake Paul in the lead up to a fight with Zurdo would do just as much of the antics that he did with Chavez Jr. Piss the Mexican fans off. Dude, people would tune in like a motherfucker. They would buy those tickets. They should go back to Anaheim and sell out that arena. You best believe, or San Diego, whatever, closer to Tijuana, I guess. That the arena will sell out, and that would overnight basically make Zurdo a superstar.
Especially because he's taking out all three of them. Right? Potentially, he's taking on all three. Yeah. He could literally tell the fans, put down Chavez and Zurdo by saying, "I'm taking out your guys' trash to get to your other piece of shit, Canelo," and I'll just piss everyone off right there. You know what I'm saying? Just like he can really set it off to get his fight with Canelo by going through Zurdo. And with it's just a great game plan. Great game plan. They sold out the tickets, so. I like where he's headed. I don't think it's a gimmick anymore. Or how should I say this? It was a gimmick. We knew what it was. So maybe that's why I'm not mad about what I'm watching. You understand what I'm saying? We were schooled years ago on what's going on with Paul, right? So then maybe that's why everyone else got their whole panties in a bunch. But I got to say, I thought Virgil Ortiz was just... He seemed a little desperate with his tweet that he put out there. Mm-hmm. The whole he's ruining boxing. Like, what are you talking about? We're on Netflix now because of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. We have the biggest platform that boxing's ever seen. The fuck are you talking about? He's ruining boxing. Check yourself, bro. Like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. You don't know where Jake Paul's gonna end. You know what I'm saying? Like, MVP might get big where Netflix is like, what, fuck it. Why don't you start running our show? And now you're fucked, right? You can bring up your stupid little tweet. So I didn't like it. It just seemed like he was trying to go viral, right? And he, put this out real fast. And he didn't really think about what he was saying. But Jake Paul has helped us a lot. He's gotten women's sports the highest money they've ever seen. He's gotten women's sports on the biggest platform they've ever seen. And he's gotten boxing on the biggest platform he's ever seen. So shut the fuck up and drop the mic moment for Jake Paul, right? So, and he's about to get a real fighter, you guys. We're about to watch it. It's going to be fast. Hey, I'm telling you, and I'm not going to say it's going to be fast. I'm not going to say that. Let's make big money on it. Go bet the rounds. Don't bet. It's going to end in a knockout. I'm telling you right now, they're going to stop this fight or it's going to be a single straight right. It'll be a jab, straight jab to the body, right hand to the body. It's going to hit him right in the soft spot that he's going to be like, what the fuck was that? And down he goes. Oh, you don't know about these punches? You don't know about these accurate ass fucking shots we be delivering in these rings? Fuck out of here. You're not fighting fucking a 57-year-old grandpa stumbling to fucking walk in this bitch.
Yeah. Or a guy barely stumbling out of rehab. It's
and not to knock the MMA world, but not the most precise strikers, right? Yeah, these guys do a lot of fucking right?
Yeah. And undersized guys that are naturally smaller who are not going to have the kind of pop to hurt Jake anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And we know that, as much as I love my beloved sport of MMA, there's a lot of headhunters, you know what I'm saying? They rarely throw the fucking body. And more often than not, it's understandable. Smaller gloves will sneak into those areas. So they're going to headhunt a lot. I get it, right? That's just how it is. So when they try to translate that over to a professional boxing bout, they tend to forget about the body. They really do. And they're not going to hurt Jake Paul upstairs. I mean, shit, Chavez Jr. wasn't going to hurt Jake Paul upstairs. You're most likely going to have to go to the body. So in regards to viral, the interview that Jake Paul did with Pierce Morgan, right, where he basically said, fuck out of here, that in the middle of the interview basically books it. Well, Pierce Morgan is now saying like, yeah, that fight was fixed. Fuck it, go ahead and sue me, because Jake Paul has come out and said, hey, anybody wants to start spreading lies about these fights being fixed, I'm suing your ass. And the first person to come out and said it was Pierce Morgan. I was like, yeah, go ahead and sue me, motherfucker. The fight was fixed. So more publicity, right? Great for Zurdo. Now, if Oscar, if you're listening, Jake, if you're listening, September, Mexican Independence Day weekend, live on Netflix. Please, you missed your chance to do it with Chavez Jr., the bigger name. I would say you missed your chance to do it in May, but whatever. He was still in rehab. I get that. I'll use that as the excuse. They were trying to do it for the Cinco de Mayo weekend, but maybe Chavez Jr. was still in rehab. Fuck if I know. But hey, we still got September. So, Oscar, if you're listening, Jake Paul, if you're listening, let's do it.
Oh,
Netflix for free. Oh, what's up?
Let me tell you, the fight couldn't be any hotter, Miguel. The way, look at Dorticos.
Yeah, Dorticos. Yeah,
Dorticos was 27, 2, and 25. To the Jake Paul fans, that was a fucking bro. This fight, and then what? Zuro's 41 and 30. These two records were there. Jake Paul has made it, bro. When they were going, yes, the winner of this fight will be facing Jake Paul for the WBA champ. Do you know how many Jake Paul fans locked in like, oh shit, he made it? This guy, we knew Dortico was not, but his record, 27 fucking 2 and 25 is pretty fucking impressive. I won't clown the MMA. And you know what I wanted to say. But Jake Paul fans, I think, tend to be more MMA young fans than
right.
boxing.
That demographic for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they seen these two guys' record 41 and 32 or whatever the hell Zuro is, that's fucking huge, dude. Jake Paul has made it. I think they were totally in tune to that fight. That fight turned out to be a great fight. It was great for both in the beginning, and then Zuro just takes over at the end. Dorticos was a hell of a cheater, though. That motherfucker with his 4 or 5 low blows by round 3. Oh, come on. I know how he got all those knockouts. Oh, I was telling it. I kept saying that during the fight. This guy is fucking Felix Trinidad, dude. He's throwing low blows until the ref tells him no more. Now, that's what saved him, is the ref takes a point away, like in round 6 or 7, is it? It's really early when the ref takes a point, bro, and that fucked him, because now he can't, he had to go
right downstairs. Yeah,
he had to go back to trying to fight this guy, and then Zuro just takes over the fight. So I kind of know that dude's game plan. He was kind of very obvious what he was doing in the ring Saturday, but a great comeback win for Ramirez. And it was just, dude, the way he was putting punches together, the way he was moving, it was a great show. I think all the fans, I think they're going to be very tuning in. Jake Paul fans, what I'm saying, that's really all he needs. We know the Mexicans are going to show up. Sure. But if Jake Paul fans are really turned on to the fight, that's what he needs to get his pay-per-view numbers up. And I know for a fact the house that I was in, they're all ready for him to fight for the WBA title. It was fucking funny, bro. But yeah, I'll watch that. I'm going to watch that. It's too exciting. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to cash. I want a second. I won't say it.
It's okay. You don't have to say it. We know exactly what you mean. That definitely is worthy of, like, I don't know if they should do it here in Vegas, because that obviously that same month we have Canelo and Crawford. But I say fuck it, do it for free, yo. Do it on Netflix. Do it in Anaheim. Do it somewhere in San Diego, somewhere, because we know that there's a lot of hate on Canelo, right? There's even a lot of Mexican fans are like, man, you fuck going to Saudi Arabia, yada, yada, for fuck this guy, right? For the longest time, that has been the case, as it was. So when we have, Zurdo here, it kind of sort of in his place, be like, hey, I won't betray you fans. I'm here for you guys. Yeah, I mean, he's got himself like a damn space already there in the hearts of fans. So to have him come in and be the one to take Jake Paul out, I mean, if that happens, if the fight happens, we anticipate it happening in the fight itself. It's hot. It's hot. That can be made. It can be made easily. I know that Oscar is seeing dollar signs, so he's any quicker that he can fucking sign that contract, he's gonna do it.
And Miguel,
Yeah.
it's not going to be for free. Jake Paul's already been on Netflix. They have a mark. It's 47 million homes. So now they can work on a number right off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
this is why this thing is huge, dude, because I've got to think that Netflix at some point and I don't even remember on the Tyson one, were they showing advertisements during the breaks of those fights?
Oh damn! I don't remember.
I don't remember.
You know what? That broadcast cut off so many times. I don't even remember the damn commercials.
When it was freezing. All right.
Yeah.
I will have to. I'll have to pay attention to that. But look, dude, if they are selling advertising during these fights, they're making hella money, bro, because they're getting Super Bowl like numbers, at least in America. 46 million homes are watching. I don't know what they're doing globally, but they're doing big numbers. That's got to beat. I would say that beats the World Series and the NBA Finals. I don't think they push. Maybe a Game 7 will push that big of a number, but not in the first 6 games or whatnot. 46 million homes, a pretty huge number for them to put on. So Netflix, what I'm trying to say, already knows that Jake Paul sells. Now what Jake needs to do is show them the path to Canelo, right? If he can get, even if Canelo, let's say, falls down and loses to Terrence, something happens. Terrence is a great guy. I just doubt the 14-pound jump up. But let's say he does lose that fight. They can still do a Canelo Jake Paul fight, and it still sells, bro. Everyone will still want to watch that thing. It's free on Netflix. I'm not saying they'd pay $100 pay-per-view, but Netflix should still be interested in Jake Paul's future, even if Canelo is to take a defeat in September. And Jake Paul should start selling that with the Zuro fight. Say, hey, if I beat this guy, I'm telling you right now, I'm going after their king. I'm going to dethrone all of Mexico. I'm going to take over. I'm taking over Puerto Rico. I mean, this guy can go fucking big time with it, right? Yeah. He's like, just do the WWE show that your brother does. You know what I mean? We don't need you to be real. Just fucking sell this shit, dude. And it's a great 3-fight setup to make a lot of money. Would be the three amigos. That's what he could call them. I'm taking out the 3 amigos. There you go, right there, bro. What was that? Sheen Martin?
No. Who was it? Martin Short. Chevy Chase, and I forgot the other dude's the other guy's name. No, not Martin Sheen. Martin Short, the short dude. The guy that comes out in the I know. It's Martin Short, the short guy, and then the dude who comes out in the movie The Jerk with the big nose. I forget his name. And then the tall dude, Chevy Chase.
I like the religious one where he's the bad preacher.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh man, I gotta get his name. Go ahead, Miguel. I'm gonna look for his name because we're disrespecting that man right now.
We are, but that's not a bad plan. I mean, Crawford and Canelo is going to be on free Netflix anyway, so maybe don't go that route. Maybe go ahead and try to do it on a pay-per-view, and he can kind of call himself like Manny Pacquiao, right? Manny Pacquiao came in, took out Barrera, went after fucking Marquez, went after Morales. Those are those 3 amigos from that point, right? So here's Pacquiao trying to do. Or here's Jake Paul trying to do what Pacquiao was trying to do and take out all the best featherweights at the time, or super bantamweights, whatever they were at that point. But he's going to basically try to run by one, and he can kind of do the whole typical thing where, like, you have a sign where there are three faces, and then he's got one crossed out, and then he's got the next 2 right, and just do it. Go super WWE with it. But do the 3 minutes. Were you able to find it?
Yes, it is Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. That's what it is. We knew Martin was in there. Jesus.
Yeah. So no, they fucking great movie. He should take their poster and put the 3 faces on it, and now you have an X through Chavez.
Yeah.
Send that over.
He should come into the ring dressed up as El Guapo, that fucking, the
He
villain.
was.
The villain.
I thought he was. He did bring out the colors.
Yeah, he did.
He went a little.
But he had the red, white, and blue gloves, but he had the Mexican color robe. Yeah. So he did try to go in that direction. But I mean, now he can play it to death. And we've seen those clips that he did, right, of him in the ring dancing the mariachis or whatever it is he was doing. So it wasn't like he wasn't trying to play to that already. But now even more so, because there's a much better chance that he'll get his ass handed to him. But yeah, that would be the way to go. So all right, we're gonna get, September. We're gonna get Crawford Canelo, right, free on Netflix. So if Jake Paul does his fight with Soto around that time, what kind of price range do you think a pay-per-view like that would be? Like, what, he's trying to sell it right now, right? We already know they could do big numbers on Netflix, and that particular month is taken with Crawford Canelo on free on Netflix. So what, maybe like $60 a good pay-per-view, Mountain 65?
Now listen, I gotta be honest with you. This pay-per-view turned out to be worth it, right? We didn't talk about Schofield Farmer, bro.
No, not yet. We're getting there because
Okay.
we're kind of going down the card. But yes, but
Okay.
that would be the other one. Yeah.
That's a decent card. All right, I got to
Right.
give it up to them. Zuro was a good fight. Schofield showed up, bro, showed out, and then you got the main event where I know it was a bum fight for the first 8 rounds, but then Chavez showed up, and that's what you got to expect from a guy out of rehab. You guys cannot expect him to be ready when the fucking who was it? It wasn't DAZN. Was it DAZN? Yeah, it was DAZN.
Yeah, DAZN. Yeah, DAZN pay-per-view.
When DAZN is freaking announcing that the dude was out of rehab just a little under 3 weeks. So, I mean, come on. We knew what we were watching. But then he almost whooped his ass. He was 39 years old, and he almost whooped your ass in the final 2 rounds. That is not how that goes. Most of the time, that's the other way around. It's the guy, the young guy is losing early because the vet is doing everything he has in his pocket, right? Everything he has in his bag, he's throwing it at you. Then he gets tired. Then the age kicks in, and usually a 26-year-old then starts putting the whooping on him. Vice versa in this fight. No, I gotta say Chavez Jr. For his poll's not high. It's very low.
Yeah.
But I believe that he's very happy with what he did Saturday.
Even if he wasn't recently out of rehab, I really don't know how much better he could have done. Quite honestly, I don't know how much better he could have done. Really, yeah, he probably would have trained. He probably would have trained. Maybe had more time to train, but the fight outcome probably would have been the same. We've seen this from Chavez before. When they put pressure on him, he just turtles up and shells up. So that's exactly what Jake Paul did until Jake Paul started slowing down towards the end, and then that's when Chavez started kicking in. But yeah, and even we keep saying that, but realistically, even if he wasn't fresh out of rehab, I don't know how much better he could have done anyway.
But reality was that he was fresh out of rehab, and he was on a 2-week training program. 2 weeks. I was like, come on, what do you really expect? But I gotta say too, I heard DAZN say that they thought he lost to Uriah Hall, another MMA fighter that he fought. So really, Chavez has lost his last 3 out of 4 fights or something like that. So he is showing, signs that it's over. Right? He's losing to everybody right now. Even guys that Jake Paul beat, Chavez lost to. I'm just saying, like, it was just weird that he lost to Silva when Silva lost to Jake Paul. So definitely over the hill.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's funny. I went to the weigh-in for Chavez Jr. and Canelo several years back, and I was like, all right, this is it, Chavez. Like, you're not gonna get any more chances like this. Well, sure enough, motherfucker's got a hell of more chances left because of that damn last name, and now we're still talking about him, right? Granted, not on the same level as Canelo, but we're still talking about him all these years later, even if it is against somebody like Jake Paul. Who would have thought? But in regards to that fight that you mentioned, Floyd Schofield completely mopped the floor with Tevin Farmer. I know. Hopefully, you don't hear my dog barking, but yeah. So we were. You've said it before. We've kind of are done with Tevin Farmer, right? The Tevin Farmer experience at this point. I legitimately thought that, coming off of the layoff, Schofield was supposed to fight in February. We didn't because he got sick. He pulled out of that fight against Shakur Stevenson. And I'm thinking, you know what? The way we saw Tevin against Cepeda, hey, that Tevin has a shot. And then he gets fucking blasted in the first round, right? I'm like, oh shit. All right. Well, if this wasn't a great way for Schofield to make a comeback after that debacle in Saudi Arabia, I don't know what is. He comes in and basically handles Tevin, has him basically flopping all over the fucking place before the referee stops the fight. So this puts him as I believe number one contender or mandatory challenger to Gervonta Davis's WBA lightweight championship. Whether or not that fight actually is going to get made, I don't know, but that definitely puts him in line for something like that. Is this the kind of thing where WBA actually makes it happen, or lets Gervonta pay the sanction fee and doesn't defend the belt or whatever? But we saw a different Schofield, and here's the thing, I didn't think he would beat Shakur. Had he fought Shakur, I thought it was too green. The fight before, he got dropped, and I was like, no, he's not ready. I think he's ready now. After seeing this, and granted, yes, we're talking about Tevin Farmer who's on the way out, but the way he did it, something that Cepeda couldn't do. Holy fuck, that was pretty impressive. I got to say, that was impressive. Whether or not he beats Tank, whether or not he beats Shakur, I don't know, but he definitely made a case for holding his own against those elite guys.
Yeah, he's now amongst the contenders, right? Not just a prospect anymore. His next step can be a big one if he wants it to be. It was an excellent fight, excellent knockout. Not actually a fight, excellent knockout. Really, I couldn't believe the ref let this is something these refs must be warned about with the twitching. I'm going to go back to the twitching thing because he immediately goes to it. I mean, when he gets up, this dude is fucking flickering. Like it's. I'm just surprised the ref allowed him to move on without him being told pre-fight, hey, look, this is something that happens to him, but he's perfectly fine. We've already done all the tests, yada, yada, yada. But enough is enough. I mean, bro, like, we've watched him take a defeat in every way, controversy, straight up, and now just to get blasted out the way that he did by a very young fighter. It's thank you, man. It just should be the end for Farmer. He's had way more than enough opportunities. There's got to be somebody else in the rankings we can go to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I believe he actually initially missed weight or something like that, and then he had a second round and a second time around, and
but
then
it's only like 3 ounces. It's one of those ounces things again, where I don't knock fighters that miss it for ounces, bro. Like, who was it the other day that had he was in 3 ounces over? It wasn't Zuro. Wasn't it a Mexican? I think it was a Mexican. He came in overweight. He had to go, he was able to work it off and came back. But I was like, man, if it was 3 ounces, I'm sorry. I would have been like, don't penalize. If it was, I'm going to talk to my fighter and work by not penalizing, having the commission not penalize them. I think it's bullshit. When a fighter puts in that hard of work, I would never say, man, Chavez, just using Chavez Senior. Chavez lost that fight because Frankie Randall was 3 ounces overweight. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Come on. So I didn't knock Farmer for coming in overweight. He just, shit happens. The scale could have been broke. You know what I mean? It's 3 freaking ounces, dude. Anything at that point,
Yeah, something as minor as vibration on the damn stage that they're on would cause a misreading. So, because I had initially read it, I was like, "What? He missed weight?" And then the second time around, he made it on the dot. So I was like, "All right, cool." So, but anyway, yeah. Regardless, Tevin, if you're listening, sorry, dude. I think you might have to call it a career because I think, I don't know this for sure. I think, but when they're under stress, I think that's when those ticks kick in the most, and sure enough, when you're in the middle of a fight and you just get fucking blasted, yeah, you're kind of wobbly. Your head is like, oh shit, those stressors are they're firing off hella, and of course you're trying to protect yourself, right? And you're basically trying to go off instinct, but yeah, the stresses are high, right? Those triggers are high, so it's going to trigger those weird ticks, and that's going to happen. It happens. I would assume that it happens less when they're more calm, right? So in the middle of a fight, when they're not hit yet, I don't think those things that are those ticks are an issue. But once he gets blasted, once he gets up against the corner, the way Cepeda had him or something like that, yeah, then the stress levels go up, and I think that triggers more of those ticks. I don't know how many times the athletic commission is just going to let him go in there, especially after this. I mean, they can even use this as a case. Be like, look, dude, you're twitching over here and you fucking got knocked the fuck out. We can't let you do it. If nothing else, the athletic commission can turn to this fight and be like, look how quickly you got the your opponent mopped the floor with you. So let's call it a career. Let's not grant him any more licenses. So on that note, Schofield, yes, that makes him either the number one contender or the mandatory. I forgot what term they used for Gervonta Tank Davis's WBA lightweight title. All right. What would be next for Schofield here? Try to get the winner of the rematch between Lamont Roach and Gervonta, or maybe go after the winner of what's the name of Cepeda and Shakur. What route? I mean, I would say the easier one would be Shakur and Cepeda, since they're both under the DAZN banner. But I mean, he's mandatory for what's the name, for Gervonta Tank Davis's belt. But Gervonta is a bigger name, right? So, what do you think he should go? What direction do you think he should go?
That's a murderous row of opponents, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's a tough one to say. I don't know what's the easier fight. Now, when you said easy, I was like, what? Tank is easier than Shakur. Shakur's easier than Tank.
Easier to make.
That's right.
Make, yeah.
I heard you when you said to make. I was like, okay, because I don't know what fight's easier for him. You know what I mean? So it's you could like flip a coin on that one. It comes down to negotiating who's going to get the biggest pie. Because look, if everything goes right, he's going to face both of them anyways, right? So this is just about who's going to give him the biggest money, the check to face them right now. So yeah. I flip a coin, don't matter to me where. And the good thing about him being with Golden Boy, Oscar don't give a fuck. He'll put you in the ring with anyone. So, right? Oscar's like, just Oscar don't care.
Well, he was willing to toss him in there with fucking Shakur, for Christ's sake, before
That's
this
right.
fight.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, so he's in a great position, at least as far as if he wants to take that step forward. Flip a coin and let Oscar do the negotiating. He'll be fine. But yeah, definitely was the way you want to see a prospect break out of his superstardom roles, is a knockout like that over a very durable fighter. We haven't seen Tevin dealt with like that. With there being so many losses recently, though, you can say that the downward spiral was already starting. And that's why, hopefully Tevin, it doesn't take a commission that needs to pull his license out of his hand. Hopefully Tevin and his family can come to an agreement that the better days are over or past. And I don't know what the tick is, if it has anything to do with something that can hurt him even more later on by taking unnecessary punishment today. You know what I mean? And to me, Tevin Farmer's had so many high class fights. What's the word? Paydays, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Decent paydays, man. Hopefully he has a retirement fund somewhere that he's been putting something away, saving, doing something. And that's it. Move it on.
All right. What kind of grade would you give the pay-per-view? Let's keep in mind that, the tickets were dropped 70%, but regardless, they still set a record for the gate at that specific arena. We don't know, how many pay-per-view buys, we got at this point, because, usually when the numbers aren't that great, they don't say shit. It is already Tuesday. I have yet to see anything. I'll look it up, of course, shortly, but I guess this is kind of a two-parter. How many pay-per-view buys do you think this got, first and foremost? And secondly, what kind of grade would you give this pay-per-view overall? Oh, by the way, we did have Holly Holm on the undercard too on the prelims, who looked every bit her age, but she won, regardless. So yeah, back to what you were saying earlier about, Jake Paul giving the opportunities to the women fighters. But yeah, how many pay-per-view buys do you think this would get, if they ever give us the number? And how would you grade this pay-per-view overall?
So I heard the numbers were really low. The first little post that I seen, I want to say it was 38,000. Is what they said the pay-per-view number was. And like I seen a whole bunch of UFC is king, UFC this,
that was UFC that weekend as well.
Yeah. So I don't know if those numbers are real. It said 38. There wasn't even a K. I gotta think that it's 38,000, bro, and not just 38.
Barely cracked 40 pay-per-view buys at $60 a pop.
So this is off the internet. People don't be fucking writing me saying you guys don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling you that. Don't hold me to those numbers, but they're extremely low. It seems like, but we'll see. We'll see, and I don't think that's the future of boxing, though. I really don't. I think pay-per-view is a dying thing right now. Streaming is it. Wait, look, the UFC is going through it too. I gotta tell you, we're gonna talk about it. I know we are. I won't tell you yet. I'll tell you later.
All right, fair enough. What kind of grade would you give the pay-per-view?
Oh, sorry. Solid B plus. Solid B plus. Entertainment wise, it hit everything. We had knockouts. We had good fights. Competitive fight with the Zuro, because I got to tell you, early on, it did look like he was getting to him because of the body shots. It had nothing to do with all his punishment upstairs. It was more of the fucking low blow, right hand upstairs, low blow, right hand upstairs. Like, dude, stop fucking hitting him in his nuts. Like, you had this feeling that at some point, bro, Zuro was gonna crack. Like, dude, how many times you guys gonna allow him to do this to this man? So it was competitive in that way, and then to see the non-cheater then get the upper hand was like, yeah, fuck yeah, whoop his ass. So that was cool. And the Chavez Paul fight, I enjoyed it because Chavez did the best he could, and he did win 2 rounds. He won 2 rounds. He won the last 2 rounds, and he put hands on Jake. He wobbled Jake. I seen Jake wobble from that left hook, and so B plus, strong B plus overall for this fight.
Okay, right on. B plus is not a bad deal. Definitely a lot better than some of the other pay-per-views we've had, PBC in particular. But that sends us to our next topic here. Oh, actually, you know what? What did you want to say? Because I don't have it on the docket. But what is it that you wanted to say in regards to was the UFC card this particular weekend?
The announcement for the commentators.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna bring that up?
I wasn't, but we can toss it in there.
So look, what I was gonna say is, the UFC's king. I want to respond to that one is the UFC. So now we're being told that one of their commentators is coming over to boxing, right? Not coming over full time, but he's dabbling a little in boxing, right? One of our biggest fights that we have, he's going to be calling it. Dana White is dabbling a little in boxing. Like, what is going on with the UFC? They wouldn't have allowed this before. De La Hoya has come out twice and said these dudes are flat broke. It's understandable when you buy so high. It's almost like buying a house before the market crashed, right? Yeah. We all know those people lost their ass. There's no hiding. There's no doubting that. Now, if you're able to have a lot of money in the bank and withstand that drop and keep your house, well, then maybe your money will start going up again in 7 years or whatever. The rates will go high. Long-term plan. And that's definitely what the UFC was thinking when they bought that bitch for $4 billion or whatever these guys bought it for. That's Miguel, the first sale was, how much did the Gracies sell it for? 60 million?
Oh shit. No. When they sold it to no, not even that.
When they bought it. When the Gracies bought the
Gracies. No. Well, the Gracies basically created it. They were created it. So when they initially sold it, because the thing is, they were the guys who basically put it together. And as they started adding more rules, they're like, fuck it, I'm just selling my shares.
Yes.
So at some point, it was a different company called Semaphore Entertainment Group, or SEG. They eventually were going under, and it shit was bad. So they sold it to the Fertitas, and I think they said $2 million fucking dollars.
There you
I'm
go.
almost certain that was $2 million fucking dollars when they purchased it in 2000 or whatever it was, 2001.
You guys, did you hear what this man just said? $2 million fucking dollars, and they got the best MMA fighters in the world. See the big difference here? Now you fast forward 25 years, and these other, and I don't know what the last sale was, but I know the $4 billion one is the one I'm talking about. That's a lot of fucking money to be in debt before you even sell a ticket. That is so much money to be in debt. Dana White has not come back and said shit to Oscar about him calling his company flat broke twice now. 2 clapback Thursdays. They get a lot of views, right?
Mhm.
And now we have one of your commentators dabbling in boxing. Like, what is going on? Like, I hope the guy. Look, I don't know 2 shits about the guy. I really don't. To me, he's a new guy getting a shot in boxing. I don't know him. I don't know him from the MMA. If it was Joe Rogan, then I'd be like, oh shit, the UFC's here. But I don't know this dude, so hopefully he does a good job. And it's kind of sad. So is Lampley going to be there or not? Because I didn't see Lampley's name.
No, as far as I know, the team as of right now is Max Kellerman and this guy John Anik. John Anik. He's been an MMA commentator, and I think he did in boxing some time ago, but very small. It was primarily MMA, and from the time that the UFC was on Fox, and then those are like years ago, like 2011 kind of thing. So he's been in the. He does his research. He's a very good guy. He's good at his job. I don't know how good he'll do in boxing. I assume he'll do the same kind of due diligence as far as research goes. But as of right now, I only know that it's John Anik, which is him, and Max Kellerman. I don't know if anybody else. I haven't heard necessarily Jim Lampley, but I think it was more of just fans saying like, "Oh yeah, let's bring Lampley back." Do the whole HBO reunion kind of thing. So I don't know if it was just the fans that said it, and I'm just like, "Oh shit!" I read it online somewhere because I don't remember anybody officially saying, "Oh yeah, Lampley's coming back for this one too."
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have brought Lampley back with Max.
Well, I mean, he did. How many times he fucking dropped the ball at that the New York event?
It's his first event though, and
and he's like 70 or how old is he? Or I don't know how.
Maybe he said no to Riyadh. Maybe he said no to going over there.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's
no.
Vegas,
It's Allegiant. Yeah, and he loves this fucking place. I've seen him here many times. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's still because we still got we're in July. We still got a couple of more months until then. So there's a chance it might because it was Max Kellerman, and at that point, I didn't know if he was going to be the main guy, right? Because there's normally 1 and then 2 supporting commentators, and then they threw in John Anik. Now, when John Anik does it, he normally is the guy. Oftentimes it's Joe Rogan kind of takes a bit of a step back and says, all right, this dude takes the number 1 slot. So whenever he's introduced, whenever the pay-per-view starts, it's John Anik on the mic. He's the number 1 dude, and he's got a fighter and Joe Rogan next to him normally the way it goes. So I assume he's going to actually, I don't know. I'm assuming he will take the same role in the boxing and be the primary dude with Max Kellerman being the supporting guy and somebody else. I think.
Is he in that? Is he at least in that one meme where Rogan grabs the?
Yeah, and they're all like this. Yeah, that's it.
He's in there.
Yeah,
it's a terrible PR guy, bro. Because what the fuck? I know Rogan and I know that DC dude.
Yeah, Daniel Cormier.
Daniel Cormier. Yeah, because of that. Look at the guy on the other side. That's gonna be.
Yeah, that is him. Yeah, it's like, dude, funny. Right? Daniel's like this, and then the guy's like, oh, yeah. So yeah, that is him. That's the guy on the far right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to boxing. Yeah. Hopefully your sport is doing okay.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, you know what? You need to fill Dana. You need to fill these fucking dates here. You owe me 3 dates. It's like, fuck. All right, come to boxing. Fucking, I'll give you a couple of dates over here.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna move on to the next topic because we did briefly mention one Oscar De La Hoya. So Oscar's been in the news a little bit, right? He's got a couple of clapback Thursdays, right? He doesn't do them as often, and as far as he says, it's because there isn't enough news out there. I'm pretty sure you can find, if we can find news to talk about Oscar, you can find something to clap back about. But so everything from Mr. Berlanga saying that he would slap Oscar next time he sees him to now again in a public spat on social media with Ryan Garcia. So we can start there. Do you think if Berlanga sees Oscar that he will try to slap him? Andrew, do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, Miguel. He seems that foolish. Right? We've seen the kid bite people. We've seen him do stupid things in the ring. He tries to act like he's all hood. I think his dad's been to the pin, tries to play off of that, right? Like, sorry, Berlanga, that's just the way you came off on your ESPN fucking interviews when you're talking about it and you have all the chains on and you're trying to act hella cool. So, yeah, I do think he would probably try to have an altercation with Oscar if he's seen him. No, I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. So yeah.
All right.
That's
Well,
my answer.
I definitely agree. He is the kind of person that is seems to be very hot headed, right, and lets his emotions get the better of him. And oftentimes, when you do that, that clouds your judgment. And maybe in the heat of the moment, he's going to want to reach over and try to crack the golden boy with a slap. And Oscar's in the middle of him smoking a fat ass blunt. He's like, yeah, go ahead, try it. See, fuck around and find out, Berlanga. See how that goes. But in regards to one Oscar de la Hoya, there has been quite a few. These are tweets, I believe, between him and Ryan Garcia. So they have, of course, a love-hate relationship, right? 1 minute they're cool arm in arm, the next minute they hate each other. And it seems to be the most recent one is now that they hate each other, right? So let's go ahead and read some of these tweets from one from one Ryan Garcia. So he says, first off, fuck you. All right, cool. That's a great way to start, Ryan. Especially you for one, disrespectful me. I think he meant to say disrespecting me with that shitty contract because I lost. I'm your actual only current star fighter. You can suck a dick, and I already know you do. So fuck you. You can kiss my ass. I'll beat Rolly's ass and whoever. Sure you can. I can't wait until I go against you again, like I did against Duarte and Duno, to see your stupid ass face looking stupid as fuck. That stupid offer, bitch. I'm not sure. I'll slap the fuck out of you. Damn it. Ryan, please get yourself a PR guy so we can type this shit. And he says, I'll slap the shit out of you the way Canelo and Berlanga, just like Canelo and Berlanga want to. So Oscar comes back, claps back at that and says, unfortunately, Ryan Garcia is having another episode. 10 days ago, he's talking about God and finding his path. Then tonight, he sends me this rant while watching his fellow Golden Boy fighters win. Bipolar disorder is very serious, and I hope he gets the help that he needs. So Oscar either does it in a very condescending way, but he's saying, I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to try to attack this dude, but I'm going to go down the route of what Ryan has claimed before and mental health issues. Says, what, bipolar is pretty serious. Ryan, I hope he gets some help. So he isn't trying to attack him per se, but is definitely a response to some degree, of course. What do you make of this public spat, Andrew? Once again, these guys are back at it, and I should say more on Ryan's side.
There you go. Yeah, I was like, Miguel, why are you putting Oscar in that boat? Oscar did take the high road on this one. Now, I don't remember what the next line of checks are going to be between them, because don't they go at it again? Doesn't he tell him something else later on?
So he doesn't respond, but he says, I know why Oscar is a bitch in people's eyes, and that's a fact. I can't wait till I'm away from that fake bitch. I'm gonna turn up and win just like I did against all y'all bitch ass fighters. So this is Ryan saying
it's
this.
all Ryan. Yeah. Okay.
And then somebody says, like, dude, aren't you still under Oscar? Because he goes on to say, fuck Golden Boy Promotions. Somebody responds to that saying, like, aren't you still under them? And he's like, yeah, for a little. What does that mean? These guys, so the contract's coming up. Is that what I'm understanding that? But yeah, it's primarily heat coming from Ryan, not so much Oscar. But Oscar's going to have to respond, of course, and rather not he'll respond on clapback or just this and call it a day. I don't know, but yeah, this is where they're at now.
The bipolar disease is real. Ryan told us he had it, and I think we need to believe him. I think these tweets kind of show some kind of mental issues that he's having. Oscar did nothing for him to come out right out the gate. Fuck you, you suck dick. Let me tell you, you suck dick, and I know you do. Kind of weird, bro. Kind of weird. I don't even know what that means. That's like when you were saying you seen kids in the Vatican getting taken to the back room. How do you know this information? How do you know Oscar sucks dick? Where did you see that at? What party were you at?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you're the one saying it. Now tell us where you seen it at. Or did he do it to you? Is that how you got your contract?
So I got the contract extension.
Just asking, So
curious minds want to know.
Yeah, suspect that Oscar for a fact sucks dick. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
Weird. Anyways, I'll stop picking on you, bro. I know you're going through it. You lost to Raleigh. He put you in a fucking perfect position to get you 40-something million. You fucking dummy. Yet you couldn't pull it off. You couldn't get past Raleigh fucking Romero to make 40 million against Devin Haney in a rematch. And now you're blaming him? I know you're mentally going through it. I got to pull back. I don't want to fuck with the kid. He's mentally, I don't think he's right. You know?
Well, that's the thing. Like, if he's not right. So clearly he needs to be on some sort of medication. So why isn't he on it? Or is he on it? He just didn't take it. Or what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, shouldn't he be on something like these? I think we're past. This seems like some sort of relapse or something like that. Like, I think when you start going down that,
it's depression, bro. It's depression.
Well, I know, but isn't there medication for that? Like, you have to continue to stay on that medication the whole time to keep your ass on track.
Definitely there's medication. The problem with this is he taking it or not, right? No one can force feed him this shit. He's not in a facility where they're monitoring how many pills he's taking a day. So even if his mom called him every hour on the hour to say, Mijo, did you take your pills? He's going to tell her yes, hang up, and then put out a tweet showing that he clearly did not take his medicine that day. So it's I don't know where they go with Garcia. He's got a huge fight in his next fight coming up. He lost to Raleigh Romero, you guys. Like, everybody had him fucking just knocking Romero out. He said he was going to retire him, yada, yada, yada. Everyone acted like that fight was a joke, and then he absolutely loses and doesn't look the same at all. Sorry. That's another thing you got to prove, Ryan. Stop with the smoke and mirror shit. You need to come back and show us that left hook is real. Because it didn't look real
off the juice.
What is it?
Austrian.
I wanted to say the other one. What was that root, that plant that he had?
Oh,
ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha.
Yeah. He didn't look the same. So you need to prove that too. So stop blaming Oscar for all your downfalls when your last fight was all on your shoulders, man. Oscar set you up. He put you in the fucking New York City, biggest fucking platform you can have. You were the main event. You know what I mean? Like, stop this, bro. You could clearly tell this kid's off his meds. You know what I'm saying? Why he's doing that to De La Hoya, I don't know. And yes, your contract is never going to be the same when you take a defeat. Do not think you're getting a raise when you lose to Raleigh fucking Romero. Sorry. And if you lose again, that's probably it for you. You will be going to social media land and trying to make your money on your looks and probably telling us the story about how Oscar De La Hoya sucked dick.
Right. He's like, I was hitting the punching bag and I hurt my hand. I had to get surgery and I turned over and he's like, sucking someone else's dick. I'm like, okay, sure.
He walked by a room in Golden Boy. Come on, we need a hotel book. I was walking through the hallway.
He's like, that's why I left, Goosen's gym because he's fucking sucking Goosen's dick and shit. Like, okay, Ryan.
All right, we'll put rated R in this one because we're gonna go hard.
Yes, TVMA, whatever that warning is before the softcore porn on Showtime.
And hey, listen, and I always knock Oscar. Oscar is a weirdo though too. He needs to stop with all the Speedo videos. No one gives a fuck about what you look like in a Speedo, Oscar. We're all men. There are men here with their sons that are watching you. I don't even, and matter of fact, I don't even let Junior. I like have to look through everything before I even show the kid. We can't just fucking go through a boxing reel because Oscar's running around in his fucking underwear. You know what I mean? It's just not a good look. He needs to.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
How was that? Like, in what arena, what universe does that sound like a good idea? Like, I'm the promoter, right? You don't see Eddie Hearn over here taking off his shirt, showing his bare chest for whatever the fuck reason. You don't see, Bob Arum, even back in the day, ripping off the fucking pants like he's about to go dancing. But like the Oscar, to his credit, he's most definitely the most unique motherfucker out there. But like, even the stuff that he does, I wonder if even, I know he's got a little bit even of friction with Turki Al-Sheikh, but I wonder if Turki's like, dude, you can fucking get like, whipped over here for being acting like that. Like, can you stop that shit? Can you knock that shit off? So I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the fucking beefs that Oscar and Turki have. It's like, dude, don't be doing those kind of freaking things, right? Like, it's already bad enough that Turki Al-Sheikh is holding people's hands like Crawford and everything like that. But then now we have what's the name, Oscar over here, showing his speedos and his fake abs or whatever, his toned abs. I don't understand the I guess the mentality with that, the idea.
Right.
How is
What's
that
the
a
game
good
plan?
idea? Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the objective in this? Like, what are you trying to accomplish or achieve by being that persona?
Right. Right.
But anyway, yeah, it was Ryan and his damn rants, which came out of nowhere. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just a late night or something like that. And he's like, "I'm not gonna take my medication. I'm gonna have a couple of drinks and then just go crazy
Oh,
on social media. Somebody's gotta take away his phone."
I I totally believe Oscar when it was the winning of the Golden Boy fighters. That can trigger someone who's bipolar and is going through depression. Seeing other people succeed will trigger that for Ryan. I do believe
Oh, is
Oscar
he
when
talking
he
about
said
like Zurdo? Like, I mean, who?
Duro Schofield.
That's right. Schofield.
Schofield, all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, he's gonna fight Tank, and he's gonna do this and that," and
Mm.
he's probably like, "Man, I'm the fucking superstar." Just they're like, "Ryan, stop wigging the fuck out," and he just wigged the fuck out, bro. And you can't calm it down once it's triggered. You know what I'm saying? So I clearly think Ryan has those issues are real. You know, I remember kind of knocking the kid, going, "You can't fucking say you're mental one day, then say you're clean the next, yada yada." Now, Ryan has showed a pattern of acting like this, acting out this way. And what De La Hoya is saying, it's because, and remember, that man's been to many therapists himself. He knows what triggers are. He nailed it right on the head. Like, I expect this. He's just seen all my guys winning. He just lost. That's the trigger.
I'm
Just like, let me go back to Madrimov's #1 fan that emailed me.
yes. Gosh, Hostile Entertainment. Sorry, man, if this triggers, your rants. Sorry, bro. Seeing people win. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's like talking mad shit about Madrimov. It's like, no, fuck that food. No.
Conquer the world. Fucking jazz. Asshole. Send.
I know, right? Edit. Let me edit it. Let me add exclamation points while I'm at it. But on the topic of one Devin Haney that was supposed to fight against Ryan Garcia, we got ourselves a fight announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Norman Jr. will defend his WBO welterweight championship against Devin motherfucking Haney. As far as I know, it's going to take place later this year, and it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. So, bam, Riyadh season back in town. I like Brian. I like Brian Norman. I saw in his most recent fight in Japan, basically mop the floor with his opponent. I definitely didn't like the shit talk afterwards, right? He's on the mic talking about, what happens when you see performances like this, people pick up their boots and run in regards to Boots Ennis leaving the 140-pound division, 47-pound division, going up to 154. We all know that Norman was offered some money to fight Boots Ennis and turned it down for whatever reason. Maybe the money wasn't right, but of course, he takes this opportunity to take shots at Boots Ennis now that Ennis has left the weight class. Kind of cheap, I think. It's like one of those. I know he's top rank, but it's a PBC type of thing to do, to not call anybody out until they have a fight already signed, and then they just call people out. It's like, dude, no, stop. This motherfucker just left the weight class. Shut the hell up. Quit pretending. But hey, he's back. Devin Haney. Okay. All right, we're not going to get to see Brian Norman Jr. and Boots Ennis, but we're going to get to see him against Devin Haney. Going to full welterweight 147 here. Not a bad fight, huh? What do you think about that fight announcement?
No, it's an excellent fight for both and for the diehard fans. For the casuals, this is going to be hopefully on an undercard of another bigger fight to make that thing a real nice fight card. If they try to run this as their own main event, it's not going to get viewed by that many. Just the way it is. Devin Haney's market is not that high, and Brian Norman,
Brian Norman Jr. Yeah,
Jr.
he's not the name yet. Yeah.
Is not the biggest name yet. So I still think it's a great co-main event that the diehards can then sell on the pay-per-view if they attach it to a great main event. But with that being said, kind of feel sorry for Devin Haney. Dude's just itching to get back in the ring to prove all these guys wrong. He's gonna get a young gun who's looking to make his own statement in the world. So it's not gonna be easy comeback for Devin. You know what I'm saying? He's going up against a very, very high prospect here. About the Boots Ennis drop. Look, I know they're saying he turned down a fight with Ennis not too long ago, but I
A
mean,
unification fight because he's got himself a belt.
so he was unified at that time.
Who?
With when they declined the fight, they were both already champions because that's what I was going to
Yes.
say. All right.
Yes. He already had the WBO belt. Talking about Norman at that time, I think Ennis only had the IBF, and then something happened where he didn't fight Norman. He ended up fighting Stanionis, and then he unified with Stanionis. So yeah, Brian Norman already had a belt at the time.
All right. I was going to give the kid the benefit of the doubt that he came back as a champion, which would give him a higher payday. But if he's already a champion, then I don't know what happened back then.
Right. Yeah, no, that's understandable. I'm gonna read this this tweet here, or I guess it's a Instagram post by Mike Coppinger. Brian Norman and Devin Haney will meet for the WBO welterweight title. In November in Riyadh, Turkey, Al-Sheikh announced. Haney will attempt to win a third division title in his first fight as a full-fledged 147-pounder. Norman delivered one of 2025's best KOs earlier this month against Jin Sasaki in Tokyo. So it's going to be full-fledged 147 November we're looking at, and it's going to be in Riyadh. So I'm down for that one. Yes, it is more for the diehards. It's not so much for the casuals, right? Devin Haney is somewhat of a name. People know him, but nobody knows Brian Norman Jr. I mean, his first title defense, he went to Japan to defend it. So it's not like, he's a well-known name here in the U.S. And he is with Top Rank, and we know that later this month Top Rank is going to be off ESPN. Who the hell knows where they'll land afterwards? So we're not sure how the hell this fight is even going to take place, or what Brian Norman's position with Top Rank is going to be come November, because by that point would be past July, and we're not sure where Top Rank will land at that point, but that seems to be what's going on. I'm down for that one. We are the diehards, right? So this is kind of fight that we would love to watch. But I don't know. Looking at this being, I guess, what they would consider Devin Haney's like full-fledged first 147-pound bout. I'm assuming he's going to come into this fight a favorite, right? And not just because of his name recognition, but because of what he's done. Do you think Devin is going to come into this fight as a heavy favorite?
I don't know, man. I don't know how the gamblers are going to take this, because Devin, his market's not that high inside the ring, right? I mean, the guy got kind of mopped around by Ryan. So if Norman, let's say he's a favorite, but the money might change that if everyone starts betting Norman Jr. So I don't really know what to expect on the odds on this one. That's going to be interesting. I bet you it'll probably be one of those plus 125, minus 115 type fights where they're going to have it hella close. Let the gamblers dictate the odds, just where the money's coming in at. But I don't expect this to be a 3-1 or 3.5-1 fight.
All right. I know it's going to be a while because it's going to happen in November, but as of right now, who do you think takes it?
Man, see, that's a hard one because I don't really know who Brian Norman Jr. is. Look, it's an excellent knockout that he has, but me and Japanese and my Asian Pacific Islander fighters out there, I'm not really high on them, Miguel. That's why I feel like they don't come over here and we don't see as many Inoues as people think we should. So I don't know what to give him on that fight. Yes, it was a great knockout, but it might have been a guy that we just don't know who that guy was either, right? He went over to Japan and knocked some dude out. I want to lean towards Devin Haney. I'm not a Devin Haney fan, but I want to see the kid succeed, man. I kind of feel like he got a real raw deal. I actually have never seen a guy get the backlash that he did when he was the one that got cheated on. You know what I mean? He was the one that got fucking fucked in that whole situation. Try to be a man and go through with the fight, still gets fucked, and then everyone's like, he's a pussy.
Yeah. I mean, that lawsuit he kind of had to come in with that lawsuit, right? But
I think it was before that. I think it was before the lawsuit. The
Yeah.
lawsuit kind of, oh yeah, that night they were making fun of him, clowning the
Mm.
shit out of him, viral on all the knockdowns and all that shit.
Mm.
The lawsuit definitely was the icing on the cake. I'll give you that. That was like when everyone was like, damn, dude. But still, I just thought he got a raw deal. Even with the
Yeah.
lawsuit,
And
it was
he, I
just
mean,
dumb. It was,
he's still
it was,
getting a raw deal. You know, I mean, he was supposed to fight Ryan, and now Ryan fucking
and
didn't win, right?
Lopez.
Oh
And
yeah, and Lopez.
Lopez.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, he's gotten, yes.
Yeah, for as many fights as Devin is trying to make, he's still getting the ass end of the deal, right? He's still getting the harsh criticism from the fans and whatnot. I mean, we don't know the circumstances or the offers that were given to Teofimo, but clearly it's and I said this about Ryan before. You know, when Ryan fought Gervonta and then Devin afterwards, I was like, damn, you know what? Ryan is trying to make the fights happen. All right, cool. Like I give him at least credit for that. Whether or not he wins them is another story, but he's trying to make the fights happen. And I kind of give that crown to fucking Haney here. Now he's like, all right, well, I was trying to make the rematch with Ryan happen, but Ryan fucking lost. I was trying to get the fight going with Teofimo, but Teofimo wasn't accepting it. It's like shit. Now he's got Brian Norman Jr. It's like I can at least give him a credit for trying to make the fights happen.
And what happened to Raleigh?
Oh yeah. What happened to Raleigh? I mean,
What happened?
last I remember, in the ring right after he beat Ryan, he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not trying to fucking fight." You know,
Right.
Devin. You know, it was good. So, and I all I've seen recently is Raleigh in a baptism or something like that. You know, some sort of religious awakening, a newborn, whatever. You know, he's doing, but baptized. I don't know if that means he's stepping away from the sport entirely or not. That I don't know, but yeah, what the hell? Right, I mean, Rolly, like this is your opportunity, man. You just got the biggest win of your career, and you know, on a high profile main event like that, you have the opportunity to make another humongous payday against somebody like Devin, and he's kind of somewhere hidden somewhere.
Do you think he's holding on to that title for the unification between Barrios and the winner of Barrios Pacquiao to unify?
Let me see. Well, okay, so he got the interim belt, right? And what's his name? Boots had the legitimate belt. Boots dropped it to move up to 154, making him the actual champ. I guess so. That would make sense. You know, he's trying to leverage whatever he's got left, right? He doesn't want to.
Because Barrios and Pacquiao is next month, right? Or is it this month?
This month, the 19th. Yeah, so today's barely the 1st of July, but the 19th, so a little under 3 weeks away.
Yeah, dude. Can Manny, dude? If Manny pulls this off, where he gets 2 titles at 47,
you think he beats Raleigh? You think he beats Raleigh? Like, let's just say he beats what's his name, Barrios, right? And it's like, all right, time to unify against one of the other guys. He can't do it against Haney because Haney's going to be taken for a little bit. Somebody like Raleigh.
Yeah, look, the old Manny beats both of these guys, right?
Yeah, right.
So
not Manny that's old, but the old Manny.
Older Manny, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the Manny who fought Keith Thurman 3 years ago might still have enough to pull this off. What a great feat if he does. But yeah, I believe Raleigh's holding out. That's why he didn't want to even talk about Devin Haney. I bet you Al Heyman said, "Hey man, you owe me, I owe you. Let's make this shit straight. Give me a month. Let me see what I can pull out of if Barrios beats Manny. I just think both of them will be in the runnings for whoever Ali Sheik wants to give them. I don't think Al Heyman will do a Raleigh Barrios pay-per-view.
No, I don't think. I mean, they're both technically PBC guys. That's very typical of them to do in-house stuff like that.
The other names were bigger. Spence, Porter, Spence, Garcia. These names were bigger when they were doing the in-house unifications. To do this one and not have a platform to put it on, you have to do pay-per-view and hope that the fans buy it. Without David Benavidez or Tank Davis attached to that card, I don't see it flying on its own. But maybe with the Benavidez undercard of some sort, yeah, maybe then you can do a Barrios Raleigh Romero unification. But damn, that Pacquiao Raleigh is so much juicier for Al Heyman, for just everybody involved, right? So if I'm Barrios, I'm real nervous about the fight with Manny.
Yeah.
Those scorecards are going to be all over the place.
Right. Even though he's coming in as a champ, it's like you're gonna have to fuck him up, dude, because it goes to the scorecards. You're kind of leaving it in the hands of the judges, and we know who the judges would much rather win, or at least Al Heyman. Which, by the way, I went to the MGM this weekend here. I don't know if you can see it there, but we have ourselves with the odds here. Then I know we got several weeks before we Pacquiao and Barrios, but as of last Saturday or Sunday, Pacquiao is at plus 225 underdog. Barrios minus 300.
Wow! Holy smokes!
Yep, ain't that some shit?
Yeah,
So
they believe the same thing we do about this. This fight was kind of out of nowhere, right? There was not a lot of promoting behind it. It was kind of just announced, and they went straight into training. And maybe Al just owed Manny some money. Right. Manny's like, dude, I'm either gonna sue you or you're gonna give me one more fight. And he's like, all right. That's
right. He's like, I still got the IRS on my ass. Al was like, okay, fine. We'll give you Azteca. We'll give you Barrios. All right.
That's a big fucking underdog though. Plus 225 for Manny Pacquiao's name. That's a big odd right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. I mean, mind you, this was yesterday, or when the hell it was, Saturday, Sunday. So as the fight approaches, I am assuming it's going to start to get a little tighter. But that's what it was this last weekend. All right, so that takes us to what we talked about kind of at the very beginning of the show with Canelo and Crawford. You sent me this very, very intriguing post of what appears to be, if we want to put on our aluminum foil hats, one Canelo Alvarez being possibly set up here. We've talked about it, right? We talked about Turki Al-Sheikh saying, "Why the hell am I sitting on this side of the podium? I want to be on that side with Crawford."
If you listen, it's the real reason. You're probably gonna say the real reason right now. The Madrimov fan should have came with this piece of information you're about to give, but what you're about to tell these guys is way more conspiracy. What is the word? Damn it. Most likely is true by what that young man found out about the royalty over there in Saudi Arabia on how they treat royalty. Did you watch the video?
Which video?
The one I did.
Yeah, you did. But it gives this like conspiracy shit, like, Crawford is like always on the right side of Turki Al-Sheikh, and that means something more to the Arabs or something like that. That really? You think that?
Yes. Because they had so many fucking videos of him being on the right side, even in the dinner table, bro.
Yeah. Even at the dinner table, you see him leaning towards Crawford.
Towards him, yes. And they're holding hands in the ring. He's holding the right side. He's on the right side, holding his hand. Like, if that is true about royalty keeps someone they favor on the right side, bro, like, fucking evidence is all over the place. So, Madrimov fan, you might be on this. You had a little bit of why people think this is a setup for Crawford.
I like the way we're calling him Madrimov. Whether he really is or isn't is another story. But he will forever be known as that.
You're his brother, bro. Get the fuck out of here. This is his cousin, or he was gonna conquer the world.
Yeah, and fucking Crawford ruined it. He was gonna get a brand new car. Get me a brand new car. But there may be some truth to that, right? Because Turki Al-Sheikh himself has tweeted this out. I will be very upset if Berlanga and Cepeda knock out Shiraz and Shakur. We have big plans for Shiraz and Shakur, and the result would be a complete disaster. So he has no quarrels about showing. No quarrels about showing alliance to one fighter or the other, right? So the fact that he's this blatant, I assume he's going to be the same way with Crawford and Canelo, but I don't know if it's been to that extent, but definitely at that press conference when he's like, "Well, I don't even want to be on this side of fucking town." It's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ! All right, so how can you can imagine how Canelo's feeling here? Like, bro, are you fucking serious? Like, you literally lure me away with more money than what was supposed to have been a possible fight with Jake Paul, and then you put me up against this motherfucker. I don't know. It just seems.
Don't. This is a good example of don't bite the hand that feeds you. And while Canelo does run the sport of boxing, he doesn't write his own checks. Unfortunately, he bit the hand that feeds him. When you go out there and you mock a guy of the power that this man has over in Riyadh, and you mock their tradition. I don't know if you guys remember, but remember when Canelo did the whole little hand holding thing with his friend and went, remember, it's on video where he was making fun of Turki holding. Well, now we're seeing that's royalty shit, bro. So you were actually making fun of the royal family when you did that video. Now, do you think they like you? Probably not, right? So Canelo, this is a learning lesson for everyone that's dealing with other cultures, traditions. Don't be just going out there on your social media feed making fun of these people. Like, if you didn't, I bet you if Canelo knew that meant royalty, his ass wouldn't have been making fun of it. Right?
Right.
So live and learn.
But do you think that would be the only reason that they want? Because, like,
hell yeah,
mind you, Canelo, everybody knows him, right? He's a cash cow. Crawford, not so much. If they want Crawford to win, or let's say that's the direction we're going, is he gonna hold? I mean, he's only has a few more years left in the sport anyway. It's not like this is necessarily a passing of the torch to be like, all right, there's much more time, much more sand in the hourglass for Crawford. Let's go ahead and favor him against Canelo. The only reason they're going to Crawford is because of the disrespect, I guess, that Canelo is showing to Turki.
If it was, yes, I believe if it was David Benavidez, he would probably favor David Benavidez over Canelo. If it was Chavez, he would. Yeah, I think Canelo's kind of in the doghouse for one, turning down their first few offers, telling. I mean, I don't remember word for word what Canelo was saying, but he talked about the pay and he doesn't get bossed around and all this stuff.
Yeah, no, he said, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it my way. That's what he said.
Yeah, so these guys. They're not used to this kind of talk, bro. Like, Canelo's lucky that they're even working with him. But now that they did work with him, it looks like it might be that he's playing from behind the whole way, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I got to be honest, everybody, another learning lesson, the guy is really putting it out there about favoritism on certain fighters. The first bad scorecard that comes out, if it favors one of the guys that he's fucking mentioning, say Chavez is supposed to loses to Berlanga, but then the scorecard split decision victory. Dude, you know how bad it's going to look on his part? Like, you're going to have a lot of fighters going, you know what, keep your money, dude. We're not doing the whole.
That's what I'm thinking with even Berlanga. The face-off that him and Shiraz had, he's like, dude, I know, they got plans for you. And he's like, what, right? Trying to play kind of dumb. And he's like, dude, if Turki already said, you win, you got Canelo. And he's like, no, that goes for the both of us. Like, no, motherfucker, I know they said shit about you, So it's like, at one point does the money just talk? It is for somebody like Berlanga to know, like, I'm coming in here with my back up against the wall, or Canelo himself saying, like, damn, if this fight is close, I'm gonna have to knock this motherfucker out, because clearly we know who the favorite is.
Yeah, no, and you know what, Miguel, they shouldn't fight like that. They should fight to win.
Yeah.
And if the fans think you won, you're gonna go on with a great career anyways. I would not change the game plan one bit. Boxing is boxing. Boxing is going to stay the same no matter who's writing the checks. Go in there, fight your fight, score your points. At the end of the 12, if they rob you of that victory, believe me, their fans will rewrite history anyways. We've seen it done many times in the sport of boxing. But then the future of Riyadh will be in jeopardy, because you have people pushing back from the likes of De La Hoya, the likes of Al Heyman, the likes of Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, for as long as he's going to be there. You still have these other guys that are trying to make a dollar in this sport, right? So you could still go back to them and fucking leave Riyadh alone until you are the main attraction that they have to pay you to come out there. You're not. You're more of a demand than you are just looking for someone to give you a check. You understand?
Hmm.
Maybe that's the route you go with this guy. But I do not like. I mean, this is worse than Don King. You know what I'm saying? The way he's coming out. We watched him tell someone 2 rounds or you're down 2 points. We're now seeing, even before the fucking bell rings, you're announcing that you have a great future for 2 of the guys that are fighting on the card. Like, come on, dude. Like,
Does
I
that
know he.
is
Go
that
ahead.
going to make these guys? I mean, it has to make these guys fight differently, right? I mean, what we're talking about, Canelo coming into this fight with a little bit of his back up against the wall, saying, "Damn, these guys are going to want him to win." And then maybe even Crawford himself. Crawford is not the kind of guy who would run necessarily, but it's like, all right, if these guys clearly have my best interest and they're trying to get me to win, I can kind of coast in this fight. I don't necessarily have to go in and beat Canelo's ass, or try to at least. If I know I'm going to get the closer rounds, I can just kind of make it look like, I'm winning the rounds, even if the close ones, they're going to give me the close ones. That I'm saying that would make them fight differently.
Time will tell on that. You are right. I do see what you're saying about the guy that maybe thinks he has it in the bag will slack off at the
Yeah.
end. This is why it's crucial that these fights don't get close. With him being that upfront about who he wants to win, he can't have controversial decisions. He needs his guys to flat out win these fights, or this is going to be a bad look for Riyadh. This isn't be, if you ain't in his back pocket, then you ain't, good luck on winning out there. And then who wants to be in an environment where it's not fair? Think about entering a room and
Well,
everyone's
that's what I'm
against you.
saying. Like yeah, it's not fair, but that's kind of like my point. Like, at what point do people like stop saying, all right, no, I'm not going. Clearly, I know you're against me. I'm not going. Or does the zeros count? Like, okay, well, you know what? There's a lot of zeros in that check. Okay, I'll go and fucking just roll the dice.
I think it matters to how some of these fights turn out. If we start seeing some bullshit coming out of Riyadh where guys are, it's not just say one fight. Let's say it's a few, we're next year down the road and we have like 3 controversial decisions out of Riyadh.
Hmm.
I mean, no one's going to forget the things that Turki has said he's done. And they're going to start matching up. Hey, look, all of his guys that he said he wanted to win all won controversial decisions. I think that's when people start looking differently at going over there. It won't be about the money. We got to remember, he's not the only one writing $1 million checks. Now, he might write the biggest one if the fight is worth it. I don't think he has too many B-Vol Better Beef checks in him. I really think that was something he did special. What is he, 40 million in the hole or some shit like that on those 2 fights?
It was I think he got each of them 10. So I think it was 20 at least for the payroll or for them. I don't know as far as everything else goes because they didn't make shit in pay-per-view.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
Miguel. Like, and he did this twice. It's been 2 fights. Unless he gave him 10 million a piece each time, that's still
Oh,
40
geez,
million.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's 40 million. I don't think he's got that many checks. We know damn well that fight didn't come close to making any of that back. So, that those are things that, I don't think he's gonna do unless the fight is gonna make them something back or has the potential of being huge down the line. Better Beef and Bevo was never had the potential of being anything down the line.
Are we at the point where like somebody has to tell him something? Like, I know nobody tells him no, no one says shit to him, but like at what point does somebody above him, the prince or whomever, they're like, hey, enough of this shit. Clearly, you're scaring everybody away with your goddamn favoritism. Enough of that shit.
It's going to need to be people like Max Kellerman, Jim Lampley, Rick Reno. Unfortunately, Rick is very knowledgeable in American boxing history, right? The guy's a writer, fucking been doing our sport forever. They've got to sit him down and be like, look, dude, or not dude, we know you don't talk like that to him, but we don't,
Yeah,
you can't.
Turkey, dude, Turkey.
Yeah, His Excellency, I'm sure Rick is what Rick Reno calls him. You can't run it like this, right? Like the gamblers aren't going to want to bet with you. The everyone's going to think we already got a bad black eye about thinking shit's fixed. You are just fucking like you're hitting the other eye. Now we have 2 black eyes, right? So stop it. So yeah, it's gonna be the American influence around him that maybe gets him to tone it down a little on. They don't really give a fuck who you favorite, who your favoritism towards, right? They don't. The fan does not care. We want to see an honest, fair fight. We don't want to, we don't want to believe we're watching a soap opera.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like I would have thought, by now somebody's been in his ear, Oscar, Eddie, somebody, saying like, hey, because again, nobody tells him no. I'm sure that there's a bunch of fucking yes people around him. He has that kind of power to no one's gonna say no, I know what I'm doing. Like no, you don't pay these motherfuckers that pay per view, yada yada yada. And it's like no, I know what I'm doing, kind of thing. I don't know. I even if there were people in his ear, I like guys like Max or like who'd you say, Rick Reno, right?
Yeah, Rick Reno.
Are they gonna? Is he gonna listen to them? Is he even gonna be like, oh yeah, I see what you're talking about? I'll be like, nah, shut the hell up. Come over to my left side where the doghouse.
That's funny. That no shit on. He's all you left side. Like fuck, man.
Yeah, right. It's like look, His Excellency, Turkey, please, all right, don't show favoritism. Come sit over here, my left side, please. You here, Eddie.
Yeah, damn, dude, you're right. Even though where he positions you shows favoritism. Yep.
Ain't that some shit?
That's their. Might have a problem with that. Yeah, we might have a problem.
And whoever's listening, let's pay attention to that. Let's go back and watch those press conferences, those three of them. Which, by the way, I was turned away from. God damn it! I went down to the T-Mobile Arena.
Is that why he wants to get away from Canelo? Is Canelo on his right in that video? I believe he is.
Well, he was going to be on the right anyway. No, I mean, like, because he's on the right side of the podium.
No, but he's on his right side. He's shoulder to shoulder, bro. That's why he wanted to move. I bet he was like, "You're not fucking royalty. Get me away from this man. Don't touch me. Don't touch me, you fucking peasant. This fucking." I bet you that's what it was.
Wouldn't that be some shit? He's like, Chris Maddox, or whoever the fuck, got the damn seating chart. Like, who's that me here? Rick, somebody.
Rick Reno got whipped that day. We don't even know it. No, just fucking play. I'm just playing, Turkey.
It's like, who made this fucking seating chart, man? Please.
No shit. They were shoulder to shoulder, bro. That's what he didn't want. If that's big in their tradition, yeah, bro, he doesn't want this dude. You're not royal. You're not anything next to me. You talk shit about us. He was literally talking against the family that man is ran by. You know what I'm saying? That's the prince. Woo. Canelo might, yeah. If I'm all boxers, dude, you might not want to talk about these guys. I'm not saying it to beat Eddie Hearn, be like, oh, kiss his feet. Eddie Hearn's is still a douchebag for saying that. But just keep all the drama out of the social media. All your little tweets, all your little, thinking you don't need Turkey Ali Sheik. I wouldn't go down that route just yet. Keep it professional, gentlemen.
Right. Professionalism had to win in the end. Okay, don't be biting the hand that feeds. Right, we talked about it.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna pay close attention from here on out. Right, as the fight approaches, anytime there's any sort of press conference. I know they did a tour with those three, but I'm sure come fight time, there's gonna be some more. See how they're sitting at that point and what position they're sitting or standing, for that matter. Who's aware? Now we have to do some research to see how legitimate this is, because we're going down this fucking rabbit hole and we don't even know if it's legitimate. But we should probably look into that and do our due diligence and read into to see if that is the case, because I'm seeing these posts and sure enough, it's always Crawford on the right side. Wow. Or Kendrick Lamar, whatever you want to call him, but on his right side here.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see that fight poster of Kendrick Lamar versus Miklo?
Yeah, I did see that. Good Lord.
Like Miklo, what the fuck was who dressed the Canelo that day, bro? Like, did they really try to make him a cholo or what, man?
Yeah, they're like, here, put on these lokes. Here you go, buddy. It's like, put on this bandana while you're at it. Let your facial hair grow out.
Button too. I was like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Here's a tamal, ate a tamal, like Simon que sí ese. Oh Lord. Well, that does it, folks. We want to talk about the stuff we want to talk about. We got everything out of the way, and Andrew has to take his son to the boxing gym to get those fucking rounds in. So we are going to call it a show. Andrew, was there anything else you wanted to add to this here before we call it a show?
No, sir. Have a great week. Wait, is there anyone fighting this weekend?
Yeah, Jack Catterall in the morning. That's it. It's not nothing major.
Yeah.
Against I forgot who the fuck is fighting, but yeah, the Zone. If you guys want to watch the Zone, if you have the subscription early in the morning, there's going to be some Jack Catterall action. So yeah.
All right. Well, Jack Catterall. See you guys on Sunday.
Yeah, precisely. For my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache, this has been Miguel Antonio Barragan, and this is the Mad Boxing Show. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace and take care.